So, what is the strategy adopted by toppers? The number one thing is start early. So, if you'll see all the toppers means the one who gets selected in competitive exam for advance or means, and if you'll further categorize, like the top of the toppers is top 100 ranks or top 500 ranks. And then definitely we can talk about top 10 rank or rank 1 as well. So, the first thing is start early, because like in 2 years we have to cover a lot of questions. So, if let's say start early, starting early means you start in 9th or 10th. So, when you start early, what happens? You will get to know many things at early stages. So, in 9th only or in 10th only, you will understand that what type of objective questions are actually and how to attempt those type of questions. So, rather than actually doing the content, we understand different aspect of the exam. One aspect is managing the time with an objective question. So, in board till 10th, you have less number of objective questions, or there is no objective questions as such in the exam. And you have a subjective question, so you learn the skills of writing subjective questions, and then the number of questions are less, time is ample. Whereas an objective exam, you have to attempt 25 questions in 1 hour or 75 questions total in 3 hour time. So, that number of questions is more or large, and then you are running short of time always. So, if you start early, then you will be able to understand that how to manage that speed thing or the time which is lesser in the competitive exam. So, you should get a grasp of that objective questions in given time, how to attempt that, what to leave, what to do. That will, if you'll start early, will grasp that fast. And the second part is that we will be doing the basics of that content which we'll learn in 11th and 12th class in 9th and 10th only. So, many students who when enters in the 11th, they know the basic of almost all the chapters. So, if you look for the pattern of your education in school system, like then 8th and 9th, which mainly deals with the mechanics portion of the 12th class. The difficulty level is not as of in 11th and 12th class, but the concept is introduced at the very, very early stage in 8th and 9th class only. And the 12th class physics, like the current part or the charge part or the magnetic field part, is introduced in the 10th class. In fact, the optics is also introduced in the 10th class. So, basically, when we talk about these portions, and if you learn the basics, so what happens in the 11th and 12th, difficulty level is more, whereas in 8th and 9th it's more mainly a formula based question. So you can say the basic or the simplest question which are there in 11th and 12th, those are actually the 8th, 9th, 10th questions. So the basic concept when introduced in an early stage, and if you start early for the competitive exam, that in 8th, 9th and 10th, or you can say 9th and 10th, and you do it one step ahead. So that means in 9th and 10th, you are attempting a questions which are slightly difficult than the level of 9th and 10th. Then your preparation will be better in 9th and 10th, and when you enter in 11th class, you will be ahead in the curve with most of the students. So when you start early, you will be able to grasp the content, you will be able to retain the content. As you have done a lot of questions in 9th and 10th, it will become easier to you to cope up with for the 11th and 12th part. And you will be in sync with what teacher is saying, and you will be able to perform better. So, start early is first thing. Second is the focus. So, basically, if you are not focused, whatever time you put in, it will be useless. So, basically, the most important aspect after the start early is the focus. We should be focused that we are preparing for the exam and we are ready to sacrifice everything for that. So that is what the meaning of focus is. If you understand it, like we have a checklist of our daily routine, and we always do our first point of the checklist, and most of the points which are at the bottom of the checklist is not done in the day. So, if the education becomes your number one priority in the day, or your hard work or the question solving or the problem solving or the theory or the complete study material becomes your number one priority, the number one friend or the best of best friend, then that part will be done, and rest other which is the lower in priority will go. So let's say if the friends and family gatherings, these are your number one priority, you will not be able to focus on education or the competitive exam. But let's say if the friends and family comes lower in the priority and your question solving or the preparation of exams comes as the number one priority, then you will definitely first finish that, and then after you will, if you have a spare time, you will spend on other things. So that focus with a topmost priority for the education or the studies will be very helpful, and that actually give you better understanding of the content because you are doing giving the sufficient time for the studies. So you need to have your educational content or the books or the notes, or you can say the problems which you are solving, or the teachers, you can say, as your best of best friend.